Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are cracking open the Master Vault on a book that gives you what can only be described as a real-world, psychological superpower. Imagine walking into a high-stakes business, negotiation, a first date, or a casual conversation with your friends, and being able to look directly past the words coming out of their mouths to see exactly what they are thinking, feeling, and hiding on the inside. Most people move through their lives completely blind to the mountain of hidden signals, micro-expressions, and psychological markers that every single human being constantly broadcasts into the world. They listen only to the spoken words, completely unaware that language is often used to mask a person's true intentions, fears, and motivations. We are diving deep into a massive, immersive story breakdown of what everybody is saying by Joe Navarro. This video is not about cheap parlor tricks or mystical mind-reading acts. It is a profound exploration of deep human psychology, nonverbal communication, and behavioral analysis designed to transform how you interact with every single person in your reality. Joe Navarro is a former FBI counterintelligence officer and a master of human behavioral science who has spent decades breaking down the precise mechanisms of cognitive awareness and physical expression. He discovered that our conscious mind can only control a tiny fraction of our behavioral output. While someone might carefully craft a spoken sentence to sound confident, honest, or agreeable, their autonomous nervous system, their eye movements, their vocal pacing, and their physical posture are simultaneously telling the absolute truth about their internal reality. Get incredibly comfortable. Grab your favorite notebook, eliminate all distractions, and let us discover how to master the art of deep behavioral decoding, so you can walk into any room and understand exactly what is happening under the surface. Part 1. The Architecture of the Subconscious Broadcast. Let us start our story by looking at the foundational psychological framework that makes reading minds fully possible in the real world. Navarro explains that the human brain is constantly caught in a fierce, silent tug-of-war between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is slow, analytical, and highly deliberate. It is the part of the brain that allows someone to plan a speech, craft a lie, or present a highly polished version of themselves to society. The subconscious mind, however, is a fast, instinctual survival engine that operates completely on autopilot. It controls your heart rate, your breathing, your emotional spikes, and your physical reflex reactions. Here is the massive breakthrough of the book. The subconscious mind cannot easily remain hidden. Every time a person experiences an internal emotion, whether it is a flash of anxiety, a surge of attraction, a hidden irritation, or a calculated lie, that internal shift triggers an immediate, automated physical response that bleeds out into their body. Navarro calls this phenomenon the subconscious broadcast. Most people fail to see the broadcast because they suffer from conversational narcissism. They are so busy thinking about what they are going to say next, worrying about how they look, or checking their phones, that they miss 90% of the data being presented right in front of them. To become a master decoder, you must first train yourself to step out of your own head and become an active observer of human data. You must realize that every twitch of a finger, every shift in foot direction, and every change in vocal pitch is a clear window into the soul. Part 2. The three-tiered brain and the freeze, flight, fight response. To understand why our bodies are completely incapable of hiding our true feelings, we have to look at how our anatomy evolved over millions of years. Navarro breaks down the human brain into a three-tiered system with the most critical layer for nonverbal communication being the limbic system, often called the honest brain. When a human being encounters a threat, a source of stress, or an uncomfortable question, the limbic system immediately takes over, completely bypassing your conscious control. It executes an ancient survival protocol that evolved to protect our ancestors from predators. This protocol consists of 3 sequential steps: freeze, flight, and fight. The average person thinks that fighting or running away are our primary responses to stress, but Navarro reveals that the freeze response comes first. When someone feels caught, shocked, or intensely uncomfortable, their body will instantly freeze or reduce its physical movements to avoid drawing attention. If you ask a colleague a surprised question about a missing financial asset, and their body language instantly goes perfectly still, as if they are trying to blend into the furniture, you are witnessing a textbook limbic freeze response. If the freeze response fails to eliminate the discomfort, the limbic system shifts to the flight response. In modern society, we cannot physically run out of a corporate meeting or a social dinner, so our flight response manifests as distancing behaviors. We angle our chests away from the person speaking. We clear our throats. We create physical space, or we shield our eyes. Only when freezing and fleeing are completely blocked will the limbic system engage the fight response, which displays as aggressive posturing, closing the physical gap, or narrowing the eyes into an offensive frame. Part 3. The honest feet and the secrets of the lower body. Now let us talk about one of the most counterintuitive secrets in the entire manual of behavioral analysis. When most people try to read body language, they spend all their energy staring at the person's face. Navarro explains that this is a massive operational error. The face is the part of the body that we are trained to use to lie from the time we are toddlers. We learn to smile when we are bored, hide our anger behind a polite expression, and fake interest to be socially acceptable, because the brain spends so much conscious energy controlling the face, it completely forgets about the lower extremities. This is why Navarro declares that the feet and legs are the most honest parts of the human body. When a person is genuinely excited or experiencing positive emotions, their feet will often display bouncing or tapping movements, a behavior termed happy feet. Conversely, the direction of a person's toes reveals exactly where their mind wants to go. If you are chatting with someone and their head and torso are facing you politely, but their feet are pointed directly toward the exit door, their subconscious mind is screaming that they want to leave the conversation. Watch also for the classic leg crossing dynamic. When people sit next to someone they like and feel secure around, they will cross their legs in a way that exposes their open torso to that person. If they suddenly feel threatened, defensive, or guarded due to a change in the conversation topic, they will instantly uncross and recross their legs so that their knee forms a physical barrier, protecting them from the source of discomfort. By keeping your eyes tracking the lower half of the room, you gain an unmatched window into authentic comfort levels. Part 4. Torso Sovereignty and Defensive Barriers. Our story now moves up to the torso, the absolute physical core of the human machine. The torso contains all our vital internal organs, which means our evolutionary blueprint is deeply wired to protect this area at all costs. Navarro explains that when a human being feels confident, powerful, and socially dominant, they will exhibit open, expansive torso language. They stand tall, expose their chest, and claim maximum physical real estate in the room. The moment comfort drops or threat levels rise, the body enters a protective posture known as ventral denial. The subconscious mind wants to shield the vital organs, causing the person to hunch forward slightly, cross their arms tightly across their chest, or adjust their clothing to create an artificial shield. Think about how often you see someone hold a coffee cup, a notebook, or a smartphone directly in front of their chest. With both hands, during a tense social interaction, they are not just holding an object, they are subconsciously building a physical wall between themselves and the world to soothe their internal anxiety. Another vital signal to master is the torso lean. We naturally lean toward things, ideas, and people we love, find valuable, or agree with. We instantly lean backward or create space when we encounter information or individuals we dislike, distrust, or find offensive. If you pitch an idea to an investor and notice their torso subtly shift backward against the back of their chair, do not listen to their polite nods. Their core has just communicated an authentic psychological rejection of your pitch. Part 5. The Language of the Hands and the High Status. Thumb. Let us look at the hands, which are incredibly expressive tools of the human intellect. Navarro highlights that our brains are uniquely calibrated to pay attention to human hands. If hands are hidden under a table or inside pockets, our subconscious mind immediately experiences a spike in anxiety because it cannot verify if the other person is safe or hidden. To project supreme authority and accurately read status, dynamics, you must track the level of hand gravity and finger positioning. High status, supremely confident individuals naturally use expansive, gravity-defying hand gestures. They talk with their hands open, moving upward, and gesturing clearly to illustrate their points. One of the most powerful nonverbal indicators of total confidence is the hand steeple. This is where a person brings the tips of their fingers together to form a structure resembling a church steeple, while keeping their palms separated. It is a universal signal of high comfort, authority, and certainty. Leaders, politicians, and master negotiators use the steeple when they are delivering their most critical points to command immediate respect from the room. Conversely, pay close attention to the thumbs. Thumbs are massive indicators of emotional health and social status. When a person feels powerful and certain, their thumbs will point upward naturally during hand gestures, or they will leave their thumbs sticking out of their pockets when their hands are tucked away. The moment confidence collapses or stress takes over, the thumbs disappear, tucking inward toward the palms or hiding deep inside pockets. By tracking these tiny digits, you can read the internal status shifts of any professional room with total clarity. Part 6. Pacifying Behaviors and the Art of Deception. Analysis. The ultimate application of Joe Navarro's playbook is the ability to spot when someone is experiencing deep internal friction, stress, or the cognitive overload of a calculated lie. Navarro completely redefines how we look at deception analysis by shifting our focus away from superficial clues and toward pacifying behaviors. When the limbic system experiences a surge of stress due to a threat or a difficult question, it experiences an intense physical discomfort. To calm itself down and return to a state of equilibrium, the brain forces the body to perform pacifying behaviors. These are self-soothing gestures designed to stimulate nerve endings and lower the heart rate. For men, the most common pacifying zone is the neck. When stressed, men will instinctively touch, rub, or massage the back of their neck or adjust their tie collar to let air circulate around the skin. For women, the primary pacifying zone is the suprasternal notch, the small hollow space at the base of the throat. When a woman feels threatened, insecure, or highly uncomfortable, her hand will naturally fly to cover or touch this specific area. Other universal pacifying gestures include rubbing the forehead, wiping the palms down the tops of the thighs to clear away sweat, puffing out the cheeks to exhale slowly, or mindlessly playing with a ring or watch. The key to reading minds accurately is not to assume that a single pacifying behavior means someone is lying. Instead, you look for a cluster of behaviors that happen immediately after a specific question or event. If a person's baseline behavior changes, their body freezes, they perform a sudden neck pacifier, and their thumbs disappear, you have successfully tracked a major hidden pocket of stress, untruth, or hidden data. Part 7. The Golden Rule of Context, Baselines, and Clusters. Now that you have the individual pieces of the behavioral manual, how do you synthesize them to ensure your readings are flawless? Navarro introduces an absolute operational framework that protects decoders from making massive personal errors. This framework relies on 3 pillars: context, baselines, and clusters. First, you must evaluate all body language through the strict lens of context. If someone is shivering, crossing their arms tightly, and rubbing their hands together in a freezing room, it means they are cold, not defensive or deceptive. Second, you must establish a person's baseline behavior within the first few minutes of a casual, low-stakes interaction. Watch how they move, speak, blink, and position their body when they are completely relaxed and under zero pressure. Third, never base a reading on an isolated gesture. A master analyzer looks for a cluster of concurrent signals. A single eye twitch or hand movement means nothing on its own. But when you observe a sudden deviation from the baseline, that involves a leg cross away from you, a micro-expression of discomfort, and an immediate throat touch right when a sensitive topic is introduced, you have found the truth. By training yourself to process data through this triple filtered framework, you remove all guesswork and operate with absolute psychological precision. Part 8. The Roadmap to Elite Human Observation and Influence. As our epic journey through the deep strategies of Joe Navarro reaches its final destination, remember this fundamental truth: the ability to read someone's mind is not about manipulating people, playing dirty games, or judging everyone through a lens of paranoia. True mastery of behavioral analysis is the ultimate act of empathy and supreme emotional intelligence. When you learn to read the silent language of the human body, you stop being a victim of social confusion and deceit. You gain the rare power to look past the masks of society and see the real human being sitting across from you, with all their hidden fears, unexpressed desires, and unspoken truths. Stop moving through your life blind to the subconscious broadcast of the world. Stop letting calculated lies derail your career. Stop missing the subtle signs of attraction and comfort in your relationships, and stop ignoring the baseline data of reality. Step into your authentic personal sovereignty today. Train yourself to establish a baseline for every person you meet. Watch the lower body for the honest movements of the feet. Read the protective barriers of the torso. Look for high-status thumb and hand signals, and track pacifying actions. To protect your world from deception, when you possess the unshakable discipline to master these unwritten laws of human behavior, you unlock the absolute golden key to interpersonal influence. The illusions of social anxiety will fade away entirely. You will command premium authority in your career. Negotiations. Build deep partnerships built on absolute authenticity and trust. protect your personal life from toxic elements, and discover that your presence has become an unmatched, powerful beacon of psychological clarity and lasting success. What is the #1 behavioral decoding technique from this mind-reading masterclass? Whether it is looking down at the feet to see where someone's mind truly wants to go, tracking the hand steeple for ultimate confidence, or watching for neck-touching pacifiers to spot hidden stress that you are going to commit to practicing during your very next interaction today. Let me know your behavioral goals in the comments down below. If this deep dive summary completely opened your eyes and handed you an elite architectural playbook for reading human intentions, show some incredible support by clicking that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss another profound psychology, communication, or leadership book breakdown, and share this video with a friend who wants to level up their social awareness today. Observe the baseline, decode the subconscious broadcast, read the hidden truths, and I will see you in the next video.